ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. One of my favorites in the Torah and the Bible is Joseph, the son of Jacob. Joseph was special, nice boy, terrific boy. He was a dreamer, and his father liked him because his father was a dreamer as well. And what did Joseph dream about? Well, he dreamed that he had some kind of bushel of wheat that was in the center, that was his, and 11 bushels around him were bowing to that bushel. Then he had another dream, that 11 stars, the sun and the moon, all bowed to him, to Joseph. Even his father didn't like that dream that Joseph had. You know, that was a little bit too much, because the obvious reference was 11 stars were his 11 brothers, and the sun and the moon were the father and the mother, even though the mother wasn't alive already then. But then again, that meant that he was the center of everything. His father didn't particularly like that, but he kept it, and unfortunately, the brothers weren't of the same opinion. The brothers were jealous, and the brothers thought that he wasn't right in his conduct with them. His father had bought him a special tunic, a special shirt. It was sort of a sign of royalty. The brothers didn't like that, and as a matter of fact, they plotted to kill him. They were going to do that, except that one of the brothers said, "Why should we kill him? Let us sell him as a slave, better." And they sold him as a slave, which was the same thing as killing him, because in those years, if you were born a slave, you lived to be a slave, and you died as a slave, and that would have been the end of Joseph. But something happened to Joseph. Joseph, because of different circumstances, ended up in jail in Egypt, and there he interpreted the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker of the Pharaoh. The baker was killed, as Joseph said, and the cupbearer was brought back to his old position. So when Pharaoh himself dreamt about the 7 cows, the fat cows and the lean cows, and nobody could interpret it, this cupbearer said, "Let's call Joseph. He knows how to interpret dreams." Joseph came out of jail. He interpreted the dreams to the satisfaction of the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh made him second in command all of Egypt. So what do we see from this story? From this story we see that dreams maybe are neutral. Some dreams can bring about problems, like the dreams that Joseph had, because his brothers wanted to kill him because of his dreams. And the other dreams, those are the dreams that saved him. He interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, and Pharaoh thought it was a correct interpretation, and he made him second in command. So dreams in themselves maybe are neutral. So how can we tell when a dream is good and a dream is not? Well, let's take a look. Let's examine what happened here. In the beginning, Joseph dreamt about himself. Everything was he. He was the center of everything. His bushel of wheat, he himself, he was the center of everything. In the other dreams, he was interpreting what somebody else dreamt. The cupbearer, the baker, Pharaoh himself, he interpreted somebody else. And when you think only about yourself, and you are the center of the universe, maybe then that leads to something that is very negative. It leads to envy. It leads to all sorts of ill feelings. The brothers wanted to kill him because of it. But on the other hand, when you interpret somebody else's dreams, when you place yourself in their position and try to help them, then the dreams become a conduit for something constructive, for something positive. So, once again, we have to think about that. Things in themselves may be neutral, depends what use we put for them. I remember years ago, maybe even today also, families would sit around a television set. We would all watch together the news, the latest happenings, and so on. Very important. Today, go into a restaurant, go into a waiting room of a doctor, and you see many people waiting, and each and every one of them has his own phone. He's doing his own thing. Nobody is doing anything for somebody else. Everybody's doing for himself. You know, the iPhone starts with the letter I. It's everything about I, about me, what I have to do. And I think this is the wrong philosophy to have in the world. Of course, I have to take care of myself. But on the other hand, if all I do is look at this little apparatus, at this phone all the time, and am oblivious to what goes on around me, there are other people sitting next to me, and I don't even think about them. Maybe that is the wrong thing. Maybe that was the problem with Joseph. Joseph, in the beginning of his life, was thinking only about himself. But when he started interpreting somebody else's dreams, when he started being sensitive to the needs of other people, then is when he started growing and he became second to Pharaoh. So make sure you do the same thing. Don't just think about yourself. Think also about society that is around you, and you will grow and you will become a better human being.